The sixth principle that we want to share with you is convert adrenaline to excitement. Anxiety is frequently a needless barrier to success. Learn to channel adrenaline into excitement whenever possible. Let me give you some examples. Have you ever found yourself nervous before a big event, like an exam, or a speech, or a job interview, or a sporting event? Well, if your philosophy of life is to race with the best runners to get the best out of yourself, then you don't want these big events to turn into disasters because you're nervous. You don't want to run away from the biggest things in your life. I'm going to share a process Carolyn and I go through before big events that ensures we get the best performance out of ourselves. Now I want you to imagine right here all sorts of adrenaline gushing through this pipe before a big event, like an exam or a job interview. Imagine that adrenaline is just powering through. And if all that adrenaline gets turned by this valve so that it goes over here to the left, well, it's going to help you live your life to the fullest. You're going to perform at a much higher level because you have all that energy from that adrenaline. On the other hand, if that adrenaline surges over here to the right, you're going to get nervous and you're going to want to run away from the event. You want to escape and you're going to miss out on some of the best times of your life. The big question is, how do you control the valve to ensure that these big events in your life, and they are important, they are a large part of how you get your fulfillment. Not everything, mind you, not everything. There's other things that are more important, but they're a big, big part of how you're going to fulfill your life. How do you turn this valve to make sure you get the most out of your life? The first thing you have to do is make sure you turn the valve long before the big event. Because if you wait, there's going to be so much pressure on that valve that you'll just never be able to turn it. Now, we've all experienced that. Just before a big race, for example, you feel like your legs can't move. And before a big exam, well, you're not sure you can spell your name, let alone take the exam. You think you forgot everything you learned. And before a job interview, you just know you're the wrong person. We feel this sense of anxiety because of the pressure that's building up in us. But that pressure can bring the best out in you as well as the worst. But you gotta turn the valve long before the event, because the pressure otherwise will overcome you. So, how do you turn the valve? How do you determine whether to go this way or this way? It really comes down to answering a few questions. The first question you have to answer is, do I want to be in this event? Do I want to be participating? If it's something you chose, then the answer is yes. On the other hand, it may not be a good event. Imagine, for example, that somebody's holding a gun to your head or threatening somebody you care dearly about. You don't want to be there. That's when you run. That's when you want to get out of there as quick as you can. Just the opposite's true when you want to be there. And that leads to the second important question. Why is it you want to be participating in this event? What does it have to do with your big goals in life, the things you're trying to accomplish through your life? Carolyn, when I'm about to give a speech, and often 4 or 5 days before I'm going to give a speech, I start getting all these feelings going through me, and she kind of looks over there and she says, why do you want to give this speech? Why is it important to you? Now, she knows the answer. She's just reminding me. And the answer is simple. Part of our philosophy of life, our professional mission, is to try to make small differences in the way people make financial decisions through our teaching and speeches. This is why I want to give the speech. And as soon as she reminds me of that, well, I turn the valve and I get the most out of myself. And people will come up and say, are you nervous? And I'll say, no, I'm not nervous. I'm excited. Your body produces adrenaline in response to both negative and positive stimuli. The same adrenaline comes down the pipe. When you perceive a situation as positive, adrenaline helps you perform better. And when you perceive it's negative, adrenaline helps you defend yourself, to fight or flee. However, these perceptions, this ability to control the valve, come from your mind, again, from square between your ears. And importantly, they're frequently related to your vision and goals. When you know where you want to go and why you're there, you'll go there. You'll make the most of the event. Let me close with one more example. When Carolyn and I went back to do graduate studies at Carnegie Mellon University, we had a principle: never study the night before an exam. We studied a lot, but never the night before the exam. Why? Because the reason we went back to school was to learn more, to become, in her case, a better manager, and in my case, a better professor. We weren't there to take exams. We were there to learn. Now, the day of the exam, well, we'd get up and we'd start trying to go through exercises very quickly and getting all pumped up, and we would take the exam, but never took the exam for a professor, always to test ourselves, always to take the adrenaline that was part of the event and to make the most of it, to try to push our mind as far as we could We knew why we were there. We never got nervous, and we let the exam be a vehicle to bring the best out in ourselves. So, if you want to live your life to the fullest, learn how to make the most out of the big events in your life by converting adrenaline to excitement.